Who is it?
Yo, open the fucking door.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Wait, I really love this angle of my loft. It looks really, really nice. I love it. Your girl got a new plant. And my cat already fucked it up. Look how beautiful. And just look what she did. Like, oh, get a cat, they say. Now, I low-key want to get straight into the video, but this would not be a Jaida Bunny video without a matcha. So let's make a matcha. I am 20 years old and I don't have any friends. And I know it sounds a little crazy to say. I mean, I feel like it's not anything that's not normal. And I know some of y'all might be like, Jaida, you're lying. I see you around people all the time. That may be true to a certain extent. Yes, I'm around people from time to time, but it really took for me to sit down and think about it a little bit more to realize, like, I don't have friends. I more so have associates. And this is completely no shade to anybody that I hang out with from time to time. But I do think I'm old enough to the point where I've come to the realization that I don't have actual friends. For years now, I've felt lonely around people. And I kind of knew that was like the first red flag of me kind of not having people who I really feel connected to. And I know a lot of people may ask, like, well, who have you been hanging around with all this time? Who have you been talking to all this time? And I've been surrounded around people who I think are cool, but no one who I really genuinely feel a connection with. If you guys do not know me, my name is Jaida. I am a 20-year-old content creator. I've been a creator for 6 years now, and I have a difficult time keeping a motherfucking friend. Now, to be completely transparent, this has always been something that kind of made me feel bad about myself, because who wants to be known as someone who is just like very strict, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that I can't keep friends, but I do consider myself to be a little strict. I do have standards, high standards at that. So yeah, and I have my own idea of what I want a friend to look like for me. Now, I think the reason why I'm so firm about what type of friend that I want around me is because since a child, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I've always kind of known who I want to be. And I don't mean career-wise, but I knew who I wanted to be as a person. I feel like I'm usually the one giving advice in some words, to help uplift people's spirits. But it's finally my turn. Like, it's my turn. I don't do the oversharing unless it's my friends. I don't really incorporate my personal life on the internet. I don't do stuff like that. When I'm talking, I definitely have a balance. So I'll tell y'all a little something without telling y'all a whole lot of nothing. As you guys can see, I am sitting in this beautiful loft apartment right now that I literally just moved into a month ago, and I absolutely love it so much. God has been showering me with blessings, like from left to right. So I've been just here in the moment, taking everything in. But guess what I had to do to receive these blessings? I had to remove people and things that are no longer for me. Is it difficult? Absolutely. Is it needed? Absolutely. I found myself removing so many people out of my circle recently, and it was such a big step for me to move on to the next chapter of my life. It's always so difficult removing people that you have history with or that you love like nearly and dearly. But at some point, it's like you have to sit down with yourself and understand, like, when you've outgrown someone or when someone is just not like fitting for you. And that's what I realized recently. While God is opening doors for me, He's also closing many, especially when He's showing true colors of people who I never really could imagine, to be weird. My legs are so smooth. Oh my God, bitch, get with the programs. I never really mentioned this, but I feel like it plays a big part. With me being who I am, being a young creator, and I do consider myself to be pretty successful with what I do. Like I said, I've been doing what I've been doing for 6 years, so it has took me a lot of time, a lot of growth, a lot of energy, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get where I am today. Even just sitting here in my brand new loft apartment, it's beautiful, it's clean, my plants are growing, everything is just where it needs to be. And when people say it gets lonely at the top, they're not even talking about like financially. When you are making it to the top mentally, you are gonna lose a lot of people in the process. And recently, that has been my life. me waking up one random morning and deciding that a friend is no longer for me, or that little habit that I have, it should not even be a habit anymore. And sometimes I get a bit sad because it's like I have all of these nice things around me, but I don't really have like any friends to experience it with for real. But luckily I have my family. But I'm also not afraid to admit that like there is a difference between family and friends. And at certain times, I do want to experience certain things with certain friends. But at times when I do have certain friends around me, I'm constantly experiencing some type of envy. And it's very frustrating because that's not how I carry myself as a person. But I was talking to someone one day and they were telling me like, Jaida, you do have a different lifestyle from an average 20-year-old. And y'all know I'm not spoon-fed. This is not mommy or daddy's money. This is my blood, sweat, and tears. And he was telling me, don't be surprised if someone is envious or they want your life. And so now I have to deal with the fact that someone close to me being envious of me is normal. It's normal, Jaida, because you're 20 and other people are 20 and people are just getting out of college and so people are gonna hate on you. They're gonna be jealous, gonna be envious, and it's normal. I don't want that to be my normal. I don't want that to be just what I expect from people. And I think the reason why it's such a hard pill for me to swallow is because I feel like I just didn't grow up like having every single little thing that I wanted. Like there was times where I lived with friends and stuff and was bouncing from home to home. Like I don't know, like that's the reason why it's such a hard pill for me to swallow, because I was once on the other side of the fence, but I've never once been envious of something that someone else had. If anything, I use people as motivation, for me to get to the next step. And y'all will be surprised how regularly I go through things like that. I deal with a lot of shit that I don't want to deal with. Like y'all, I am genuinely exhausted and I want to take a nap. I feel like everything that I'm like going on about, I feel like there is an older woman somewhere that's gonna say like, hey girl, this is normal. This is what you go through in your early 20s. And I'm just waiting for the messages because like I need someone to tell me that they experience what I experienced. I know there is somebody out there who goes through shit and feels like there is no one else who goes through it, because that is me. And that has to be the most depressing feeling, to feel like what you're going through, you're the only one going through it. Mind you, there are billions of people on this planet. Millions or billions, I don't know. And the fact that we all go through like similar things is just completely insane to me. But I think I can be honest as a human being and say that I don't consider everybody my friends. What I've been learning for myself is there is nothing wrong with wanting the most fulfilling friendships. And I don't think that's impossible for me to achieve. I have so much like love to give. I have so much like kind words to share. There's like so much I want to learn myself. Like I just want the most fulfilling friendships. And I know it's out there somewhere, and that's why I do not want to settle for the bare minimum. And that's also why I don't give a damn about being the villain in no one's story. I feel like for me, I'm always the one that has something to say. And the most difficult part for me, right, you guys? So like, if I say my piece respectfully, people try to walk all over me. If I don't say nothing at all, people try to walk all over me. If I go the fuck off, it's like people then simmer down. It's like so backwards. I hate it. But what I'm learning, like 2025, is just more self-control. I pray for more self-control and just more patience. Because I think for me, a lot of people know of me and they kind of know like what energy I bring. And I'm very firm, very confident, very like all in your face, what's up? And so when I decide to take like a step back, a lot of people, their way of like manipulating me is like just trying to get, they feel like, oh, she's quiet. Nah. That's not how she usually is. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to be the bigger person. Let's get a rise out of her. And I'm sorry, this year is not the year. I rebuke all of that negative energy. I remember when I was having a conversation with my mom, she was telling me like, Jaida, you don't have to cut everybody off, just put them in certain categories. But then I told my mom one thing, because that I know, but listen to this. I feel like everyone naturally falls into a certain category. When you go to the club, you might meet that friend that's always in the club. You like, hey girl, yeah, da-da-da-da. That's your club friend. When you need to sit on the phone and gossip, you might have a friend for that. If you have someone you like to study with, you might have a friend for that as well. And if you have an everyday friend, then you have an everyday friend. I feel like certain people naturally fall into certain categories. I've never sat down and made a list and sorted out all of my friends and said, you go in this category and you go in that category. You probably have friends right now that you have never sorted into a category, but you know that's your club friend, that's your brunch friend, that's your everyday friend, that's your gossip friend. You might naturally have that. But the thing for me is, what happens if someone is not playing their role in that category that they naturally fit in? If I have a friend that I talk to every day, I want to hang out with every day, you're just my everyday friend. And let's say I find out that you're fake, it's fuck. There is no need for me to put you in a category where I only hang out with you, or a category where I only party with you, or a category where I only go to brunch with you. Because if I'm to intentionally place you in those categories, we will never talk again. Because me and you naturally align in a certain area. And if they're not doing their part in a certain area, then you don't have no business being friends with them in that certain area anymore. I don't consider the people I talk to here and there my friends. I don't consider the people that I see at the club and kick it with a little bit my friends. Like, I really consider everyday people more so my friends. When I say everyday, I don't mean I gotta talk to you every single day, but I mean those people who it's like, it's never just a perfect time to call them or to talk to them because you wanna talk to them all the damn time. Whether it's at 3 a.m., whether it's at 8 a.m., whether you pull up to their crib on a random Thursday, to lay in a bed, those are people who I consider my friends. Those people where it's like no but, ifs, or maybes. And no one's gonna make me feel bad for, that being my mindset.
I won't shine if you're not mine forever. My darling baby, sparkling eyes bring joy to my mystic heaven. Forever, remember.
Standards and different morals, and me personally, and that's what I love about just like being a human being. Like, we all have different ways of thinking, and personally for me, it's like that's the way I think. Because what happens if I'm with my party friend and something goes down to the point where I need to vent or overshare? And with me being me, I'm going to naturally want to do that. I don't feel like you should be bringing yourself around people who you don't feel comfortable talking to. Now, like I said, this does not apply to people that when you go out, you be like, hey girl, what? Yeah. But I'm talking about people who you consider your friends. You should never feel watered down when you're with your friends. You should never feel like limited to the things you're saying or doing around your friends. You should always show up as yourself around your friends. And so for me, if I'm with someone and I feel like I can't do anything around you, you are not a friend to me, and I don't feel comfortable around you. I can hang out with you here and there, but we're gonna keep it here and there and there and here. But yes, with me being a successful content creator at 20, and just having shit my way, honestly, like life might throw a little uppercut at me, you know what I'm saying? But I always pray. I always remove things that are not needed. I always make sure I have some sort of peace of mind because, being a creator at a young age can get a little crazy. And with that, it's not easy keeping friends because, mind you, I'm very accepting. I don't care if you got a damn 9 to 5. I don't care who the hell you are. If I fuck with the way you carry yourself, if I like how you are as a friend, if I like how you treat others, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's the shit I'm looking for, I don't care like what you do for a living. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you a good person? Are you a good fucking friend? That is something I always crave. Like, I just like daydream about having like just really good friendships and people I can just talk to and just hang out with and have fun with in a genuine manner, not just for the moment, but just forever. But I know I just started my 20s, and I know that there's gonna be a lot of crazy stuff ahead of me. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm always looking forward to just experiencing life. But I just wanted to come on here and be a little transparent. Like, there might be somebody my age that might be going through what I'm going through, maybe just like in a different font. And if you are someone who's experiencing what I am, I just want to tell you that you're like not alone at all, and that like we all go through shit like this. And most importantly, we're going to be okay. But thank you guys so much for giving me the floor to rant. And if you ever need someone to talk to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, I recommend getting a therapist. I have a therapist and like she's so funny. I love her so much. Just do some research. Find out what type of therapist that you want. Find out like what it is that you're trying to work on, and I promise you, you will find a therapist that aligns with you. I don't like to put too much stress on my friends. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that. Like I used to go crazy, calling them every single day, like it did. But you know, I had to realize like we all, you know, have some sort of mental health that we're working on. And so don't pile up bullshit on your friends. They have lives too. And if you need someone to talk to, try journaling, try digital journaling. Like just try talking to your camera maybe, finding a therapist, do whatever works for you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.